it going? Welcome to Empowered Training and Consultation. So, in this series of videos and empowerment, what I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to transition. If you watched the last video, then you know that I wanted to incorporate just other dynamics and things that I'm interested in and passionate about. And fitness is one of those. So, in this video, I'm going to do a couple things. The first thing I want to do is talk to you about basic muscle contraction, right? So there's rows of muscles and there's types of contractions, and and then we'll also include some grip stuff, some discussion on grip. But I want to walk you through this and kind of I'm taking this from the standpoint of you might know something about the gym, you may have worked out, you may have exercised, you might even see some gains, but really in terms of understanding the science behind it, you might struggle. So I wanted to offer this for that purpose. Okay. Now, when you talk about the types of contractions, you have concentric, that's when your muscle shortens. You have eccentric, that's when your muscle lengthens. Then you have isometric, and this is when there is equal force. Okay, there's equal force, there is no movement. Essentially, as you can see, I'm holding my arm at a 90-degree angle. And although there is no movement, you can actually activate a lot of muscle fiber and a lot of muscle and stimulate a lot of muscle growth by doing that. Now, that comes into play when you start talking about agonist or prime mover, and this is the role of muscles. So there's four main roles that a muscle will serve. It's either going to be an agonist or a prime mover. It's going to be a secondary mover. Okay, then you're going to have an antagonist muscle, and I'll explain these in a minute. And then you have a stabilizer. Okay, so the prime mover in a bicep, the agonist muscle, is the bicep. Okay, now you also have the forearm that's working as well. It doesn't work as much, but it supports you with your grip while you are pulling the weight up. All right. Now, in pulling the weight up, you are contracting the bicep muscle, but so this is the prime mover. You are and this is the agonist. The antagonist muscle that works against the contraction is the triceps. So as I bicep curl, I lengthen, extend the, my tricep muscles. Okay? And then as I return to the starting position, I lengthen my bicep muscle and I contract my tricep muscles or triceps. You also have the stabilizer. The wrist acts as a stabilizer with the bicep curl. Okay? If I don't stabilize, if my wrist strength is not there, I'm not going to be able to, you can hold it, but it won't be there for long. And it also impacts the amount of weight that you can actually move. All right, so let me show you what this looks like. I like putting my grips on. Although these are worn out, the padding still supports the grip. It prevents all of the sweat and stuff from getting on the palm and stops the transfer of skin cells and stuff like that. So this is a what they call an Olympic style dumbbell bar, right? and it's basically it's a 2 inch. So the 2 inch diameter means you need the weights with the larger holes in the middle in order for it to fit on. Okay? So I'm gonna start from this position. So as I pull the dumbbell up, my bicep contracts. Okay? This is the concentric motion. Eccentric motion is the lengthening of the triceps. My wrist, my forearm are working with me. Also, my chest muscle. So chest muscle is also a secondary mover in this space, and it supports the prime mover, right? And the wrist really functions as a stabilizer. And then as I return, I'm going into an eccentric motion with my bicep, and I'm contracting my tricep. And so this is how you have primary, secondary muscles, and tertiary muscles that are affected even when you do a movement. All right? So discuss that. Now, quickly, I want to cover grips. Okay, so there are some main grips that you want to be concerned with, and then there are some that are a little more wonky or advanced, and you might not necessarily be concerned with them. But you have supinated grip, and that's when your palms are up. You have pronated grip. That's when your palms are facing the floor. Then you have neutral, and that's really when your palms are facing your side. Think handshake. You're going to get somebody a handshake. You don't give them a handshake like this. You typically, from a neutral position, hands at your side, you get up, okay? Now, if you notice when I picked up the barbell or this dumbbell, I'm holding it right now at a neutral grip, okay? This is a supinated grip. My palm is facing the sky or the ceiling. I'm in my home gym, so it's facing the ceiling of my home gym. If I wanted to do some other movements, I would pronate and basically face my palms to the ground and, work out a different muscle. All right? In addition to that, you have the hook, and this is where the thumb is on the opposite side, but you link it in between let me show it this way. You link it in between the index and the middle finger, all right? But then you also have open grip and closed grip. Open grip is when your thumb is positioned on the same side of the bar, whatever bar you're using, as your fingers, okay? So if you can see, I'm essentially holding this bar, and all of my fingers, my digits, are outside. They're not connected. And there are reasons and there are times when this might be necessary. But most often when you are working with any type of bar, it can be a dumbbell, it can be a barbell, you want to have a closed grip because that's going to maximize your control over the weight, right? Keeps it from falling. Actually works as a stabilizer because if you notice, it's easier for my wrist to roll when I have an open grip. In a closed grip, because I'm rolling my fingers up, it's going to again activate the forearm, which is a stabilizer, as well as the wrist and the agonist and an assistant mover, I should say, okay, or a secondary mover. So, brief recap. You have there's an alternated grip, an alternate grip. And let me show you that one real quick before I recap. This one is typically used when you have a barbell, and this is a barbell. You have a barbell, and this is a really good one for doing deadlifts, specifically if you're not going to use wrist straps. It just keeps you really solid with the grip, okay? As opposed to doing this or doing this. And there are times when you will want to do those, have those grips, but the alternate grip is really good for doing deadlifts. All right, so recap really briefly. You have three primary contraction types. You have concentric, muscle is contracting, is shortening. You have eccentric, let me just show this one. The muscle is lengthening, it's extending. Then you have isometric, that's no movement at all, it's stationary, okay? Four primary roles of muscles. Your muscles will either be an agonist or a prime mover, right? That's in a concentric motion is what I'm talking about. Then you have an assistant mover, and that's another muscle that will work alongside the contracting muscle or the agonist. Then you have an antagonist. That's the muscle that works against, or it moves in the opposite direction. Let me put it that way. It moves in the opposite direction of the prime mover, the agonist. So doing the bicep curl. The antagonist is moving in an opposite direction. I'm contracting my bicep, but I'm extending my triceps. And then you have the stabilizer, and that's what helps you do the move, okay? So you have the wrist, you have the forearm, all of that stuff. The forearm also can act as an assistant mover, secondary mover as well. And then the wrist stabilizes the bar, the dumbbells, whatever you have in your hand, allowing you to execute the move. Then you have the four main grip types. You have supinated, palms facing the ceiling or sky. Pronated, palms facing the ground, the earth. Neutral, palms are facing your side, think handshake. You have the alternate grip, and that's where one hand is pronated, the other hand is supinated. Okay, and we'll talk, I'm gonna walk you through some basic moves and stuff like that, and how to execute and target certain muscles in your body. Just really showing you how you can get in shape at your home with very little space, and you can get in the best shape of your life by using what you have, not having a lot of equipment. Okay, so then you have the alternate grip, pronated, supinated. You also have the hook grip, and that's where your finger, it's a closed grip, it's a modification of a closed grip, and your thumb is placed between your index and your middle fingers. Then you have the open grip when you are holding a bar, and that's when all of your digits are on the outside or the outside of the bar. They're on the same side of the bar, I should say. Then you have the closed grip, and that's when your thumb is on the opposite side of the bar, basically securing the bar a little more to inside of your palm, and it helps with the support. All right, so hopefully this helps you. In the next video, I'm going to talk about some basic movements that you can do to target your upper body, right? The major muscle groups, biceps, triceps, your chest, your back. This is not it won't be an exhaustive list. It's just really getting you an idea of what you can do to begin to activate those major muscles and begin to see some shapes and some contouring and all of that happen using what you have at your disposal. Okay, so I'm gonna show you the dumbbells that I got. I'm gonna show you what that looks like and show you how to get it done. Really using little weight and all of that. Okay, so we're gonna target upper body, then in another video we're gonna target lower body using what we call free weights and dumbbells and plates. Now I'll show you what I do for the bands. Okay, so that being said, take care. Please like, subscribe, do all of that good stuff. You will get this content as it is released. The goal is to really just put out good content, rough edits and all, I'm going to release some. This is a kind of an extension. I'm going to release some of the other videos because this is my second time recording this. I wanted it to be a little more cohesive. The first set of videos was a little choppy in how I was introducing the concepts. So like the roles of the muscles and the contractions was in one, and then the grips was in a different one. But I wanted to present all of this stuff in a single video for you, so that once we move to the next video, and actually as I'm thinking about it, the next video before I even show you what to do, I'm gonna walk you through some basic dynamic stretching, warming up the muscles that you can do to make sure that you reduce the level of injury and increase the rate of return and engagement in physical fitness on your journey. So I am signing out. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and all of that good stuff. You'll get the content as it is released. I'll see you next time.